You're listening to the Be a Better Lawyer podcast with Dina Cataldo, episode 196. So how do high-achieving lawyers break through generations of being taught that we have to grind ourselves into the ground to get results for clients, build a successful business, and create a life we love? While law schools are busy teaching the rule of law, they're slacking on teaching us how to be a better human to create for ourselves the success we thought we'd achieve after law school. This podcast bridges the gap between law school and life. Hello, how are you doing right now? There is a lot going on in the world right now, and I know you may be watching the news a lot more lately because there's a lot going on. But what I want to tell you before we dive into this week's episode is that whatever you are feeling, it's okay. Those feelings are normal. And what I also want you to know is that you have the ability to take action to help the way you want to and go after what you want. Those two things can coexist in the world. And the reason I say this is because I've talked to at least one client and been online with people who have said the same thing, who've said, it's so difficult to even think about what I want right now. It doesn't even feel like it's the right time for me to think about what I want right now. And I'm going to offer to you that that is just something that's a bunch of baloney that your brain throws up at you to keep you in stasis mode, to keep you from change. And all of the thoughts that you're having right now are just thoughts that are stirred up because of the current way that you're looking at the world. This is the same thing that happened during at the start of the pandemic. And so I went in depth about how the brain works and what was happening when we have a brain that's overstimulated with this kind of news. And I'm going to link to those in the show notes. There were 4 episodes that I talk about how our brain responds when events in the world seem to make everything else seem irrelevant. And those episodes are as relevant now as they were then. So I'm going to link to them in the show notes at dinacataldo.com/196. If we truly placed our attention on all of the horrible things happening in the world, we would be paralyzed with suffering. We must choose with intention to take action where we want to, and then intentionally place our attention on what we have the most power over, how we show up in the world every day for the people around us. How we show up in the world creates a ripple effect in the people we contact, whether it's in social media, on a podcast like this one, in our emails, in the conversations we choose to have at the office. Remember, your attention is valuable. Place your attention where you can have the largest impact, and you can't help but impact the world in the way that you want to. And remember, I'm going to link to those other episodes at dinacataldo.com/196. Okay. I really think that was a great segue into this episode's topic, which is how to know whether you should go after what you want. How do you know you should put your energy into creating that new practice area, to boosting your revenue, to changing careers? And the first thing I want to clear up here is that this doesn't have to be an all or nothing proposition. Our brains often automatically say no to whatever idea we have or any goal that we want to go after because it sees things very black and white. It's either go or stop. There's no middle ground. You have an idea to do something new, then immediately your brain shuts it down because it doesn't want to lose a sure thing. In this case, it's your current revenue stream. So this happened to me years ago when I was thinking about leaving the law. My coach offered to me the possibility of changing the kind of law I practiced, moving to a different office, and my brain immediately said no. I don't know how to practice another kind of law. I probably wouldn't make as much money as I'm making now. That sounds impossible. And those thoughts seemed so true to me that I didn't realize that those were just thoughts, that those thoughts were optional. I could always learn a new kind of law. I didn't actually know how much those other firms offered in terms of pay. I had no clue. I could always at least research other areas of the law that might interest me. But my brain wouldn't even let me do that. It only allowed me to consider the familiar, which was, to me, starting an online business with a physical product. And back then, I created a loose leaf tea business that was hand blended, all organic, and sold online. It was something I could wrap my brain around easily. I had no conception of coaching as a potential path either, even though I had a coach. My brain was just frozen in the familiar. This brain freeze, where our brain is stuck in the familiar thoughts swirling in our head, is a common theme I see when lawyers come to consult calls with me. They have a dream, but they're so stuck in their familiar thoughts that they're afraid that when they think about what they really want, that, you know what, it's really a pipe dream. It's something that it's not possible. It's not even something they should really be thinking about. I had a lawyer tell me that she wanted to change the direction of her practice to include more immigration law because that's what she was passionate about. She had a lot of self-doubt about whether she should move forward because her brain told her that the men already practicing immigration law and her clients wouldn't take her seriously because she was a woman and she hadn't been practicing very long or at all at this point. And she was afraid that she wouldn't be able to make money in that area and that she should really be throwing her energy into the current law practice that she was doing that was not feeding her soul, not even a little bit. And she looked at her self-doubt as a sign that it wasn't possible. I looked at her self-doubt as the opportunity to grow into the person she was meant to become, to serve the people that she wanted to serve. She looked at the judgment of the other attorneys as a roadblock to her success. I looked at her thoughts that people were judging her as a tool to create more self-confidence. She looked at money as a barrier between her and what she wanted. I saw her thoughts about money as evidence that she had room to grow into a more powerful version of herself who could continue her old practice while simultaneously growing a new practice brick by brick. Our brain creates these obstacles not because it doesn't want us to have what we want, but because it was designed to keep us safe. So if you feel scared or self-doubt, your brain is working exactly as it was designed to. But it's an outdated program meant to keep us safe in times when we were being chased by tigers. That outdated programming also keeps us in a cage. Those feelings of self-doubt or fear or judgment aren't signs to lock ourselves up safe and sound in our cage. They're signs that we need to learn how to unlock our cage and be more free. I had another lawyer that I worked with tell me she wanted to grow her practice further. And her brain kept putting up obstacles telling her that, you know what, she shouldn't do it right now. Or she couldn't afford a full-time assistant. Or she should just be happy with what she has. But when we shed light on those obstacles that our brain throws up, we can then strategize to overcome them. Now, our brains don't strategize automatically. They just like to throw up the obstacles, right? Coaching is what helps create strategies to knock down obstacles one by one. Instead of believing that obstacles mean stop, know that the obstacles are a prerequisite to getting what you want. They are the sign that you need to keep going after it. This is because those obstacles are the key to your growth, not only as a lawyer, but as a human. Every obstacle to what you truly desire in your life, and I mean truly desire, like that thing, that idea in the back of your mind that you've been playing with and your brain just keeps telling you it's impossible, I want to tell you that every obstacle is like an instruction telling you what you need to get what you want. Let's say this, obstacle 1, self-doubt. Oh, that's just an instruction telling me that I need to learn how to become more resilient and gain confidence, how to do things that are uncomfortable for me so that I can keep growing. Obstacle 2, thoughts that I don't have enough time. Oh, that's just an instruction telling me that I need to learn time management skills. Obstacle 3, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. Oh, that's just an instruction telling me that I need to ask for help. Now, if you want to keep pushing your limits and grow into the version of yourself you want to become, that's what it takes. If you have a deep desire for something that's calling to you, there's a reason that it's calling for you. It's because that is what is going to help you grow into the person you're meant to become. And if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably someone who wants to grow and expand and see what's possible for yourself. You're not content sitting around settling. If you're feeling doubt or worry or see yourself procrastinating on going after what you want, those are signs that you should go after it. The only thing you will be left with if you don't is regret. When I decided that I was going to follow my fear where it took me, I grew into the person who could leave a 15-year career as a criminal prosecutor to coach lawyers full-time. I didn't just jump ship from lawyering full-time to coaching full-time. I grew my coaching business while I was lawyering full-time. There were a ton of obstacles, but because I looked at them as opportunities for me to grow, because I kept my eye on what I desired, what I wanted, what felt right to me, because I knew I could serve people in the way that I wanted to serve them, that I could have the impact that I wanted to have, I didn't stop. I was relentless. I didn't know how to manage my time at first, so I experimented and I learned what worked for me. I didn't know how to market a business, so I hired people and I learned. I didn't know how to manage my brain around the pressure I created for myself and the overworking I was doing in my business. I wasn't doing the most impactful things to grow my business, so I hired a coach and I got help. If you want something, go after it. I look at it as our duty to go after what we want. There are a lot of people in this world who wouldn't think twice about taking the opportunities that we have right now in this moment. Don't hesitate because your brain throws up obstacles. Look at them as your roadmap to getting what you want. If you know you want help getting what you want, I can help you knock down your obstacles one by one. Book a call with me at dinacataldo.com/strategy session. Now is the best time to get started going after what you want. Let's do it. Now, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I'm sending you lots of love wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I will talk to you soon.